NASCAR driver Alex Bowman is not holding back his criticism of the sport's recent race at the Circuit of the Americas. Bowman stated his frustration with the embarrassing quality of racing caused by the track's layout in a post-race interview. In this video, we'll examine Bowman's highlights, as well as provide background for the COTA race and NASCAR's rules. So buckle in for a deep dive into the current scandal shaking the NASCAR community on NASCAR Zone. But before we dive into that, do subscribe to our channel and hit the like button. Alex Bowman, a teammate of William Byron's at Hendrick Motorsports, has gotten off to an impressive start to the 2023 NASCAR Cup Series campaign. In the season's first 5 races, Bowman has recorded 4 top 10 finishes, including 2 finishes in the top 5. While Byron's early wins this season deserve some recognition, Bowman has written an impressive start of his own. On Sunday, the 29-year-old driver finished in the top 5 for the 3rd time at Circuit of the Americas. Yet, he freely said that it wasn't something he was especially proud of doing. Instead, he was ashamed of the racing product as a whole and criticized the sanctioning organization for putting the drivers in a position in which they are forced to increase the amount of violence they display out of fear of falling behind and losing valuable places, points, and cash. On Sunday, Alex Bowman finished 3rd at COTA, dropping 1 spot from where he finished in last year's nail-biter of a race at the same track, which was won by Ross Chastain for the first time in his career in the Cup Series with an aggressive pass in the final lap. It should come as no surprise that Chastain was involved in some sort of interaction towards the end of this year's competition. That occurred during the second overtime restart, as the racers were heading towards turn 1 of the 3.41-mile road track, which has been fittingly dubbed Calamity Corner by some. The race began with Bowman on the inside of row 4, with Daniel Suarez in front of him, Joey Logano on his outside, and Ross Chastain following directly behind him. Bowman responded with maneuvers of his own. They have done it once more. When they raced toward the peak of the slope that was 130 feet tall, the driver of the HMS car followed in their footsteps and, as a result, came closer to the number 99 car. At the crest, it seemed as though the number 48 car had slowed down sufficiently to negotiate the difficult turn. On the other hand, Chastain struck him from behind, and Briscoe assisted him in the attack. After gaining speed from behind, Bowman smashed his door into Suarez, which caused the number 99 to collide with the back of Martin Truex Jr., causing him to spin out of control. After the first turn, the drivers in 1st through 5th place were Tyler Reddick, Kyle Busch, Byron, and Brock Bowman, respectively. Bowman calls NASCAR racing embarrassing, and he criticizes the system. Suarez was very angry about that dive bomb, and he made it clear when, after the race, he crashed into the back of the number 48 car on the pit road and then had a tense conversation with the driver. After that, Bowman spoke with the press and discussed the aggressive driving that had been going on throughout the restarts.
It's like a box that we're all in. It's so dumb how we have to race each other. It's not okay by any means, but it's what we do, and it's somewhat embarrassing, but at some point you're here to finish well for your sponsors. It's a matter of losing 10 spots. You can't be the one clean guy getting out there.
He wasn't through, and a few moments later, he made some more cutting remarks. He explained the issue by saying, yes, the problem is that if you don't peek out and bomb the man in front of you, the guy behind you does it to you. What exactly are you planning to do at that location, by any chance? It is not acceptable. The way in which we compete is quite embarrassing. We would be yelling at them if they were 12 years old, but here we are saying it's the best, and we're all on TV. This fits in with the continuing topic of a lack of respect. The comments made by Bowman are a fantastic addition to the wider conversation that has been taking place in NASCAR over the course of the past week regarding the lack of respect that exists in the garage. At Atlanta, Kyle Busch was the one to start the dialogue. Others have added their 2 cents. Another illustration of this phenomenon occurred on Sunday at COTA, when drivers made movements, notably on Turn 1, that nobody loves but that everyone makes out of necessity in order to better their track position and earn the best result, which is the objective of each race. It's possible that Alex Bowman and the other drivers don't like it, but it doesn't appear that NASCAR is going to do anything to change the situation anytime soon. It will comply with the unspoken code, which states that drivers are responsible for their own self-policing. What are your thoughts on this incident at Sunday's COTA? Tell us in the comments. Be sure to hit the bell button and subscribe to our channel to get the latest updates. Now take a look at other drivers who were involved in the COTA Crash Fest. Tyler Reddick was in the first place and driving the fastest car on the track when disaster almost happened. There were enough stops to make a driver go crazy. Reddick wins the race at COTA after 3 hours of extra time. After 2 late cautions at Circuit of the Americas, Tyler Reddick wins the trophy after keeping Kyle Busch behind him on a restart. Or at least he's cool. Sunday was Reddick's first win with his new team, 2311 Racing. He held on through multiple late restarts to win in triple overtime at Circuit of the Americas, which was the first road course race of the NASCAR season.
And I honestly wasn't doing the best job on those restarts. A few of the times, giving up 1-2 spots, and all but that very last one, having to battle for position down into the S's, which is a very tricky area of the racetrack considering track limits and all those things. One bump, one thing goes wrong, you might be getting penalized. So definitely putting ourselves at risk there. So if I have one thing looking at the whole weekend, wish I could have done better, would have been qualifying and just cleaned up those restarts a little bit. So just there is things to learn for sure, but it all went really well. And the last one got off of turn one without any real threats.
Reddick had to keep the lead through the high left-hand turn with a switchback, which caused the field to bunch up and crash into each other on every restart. There were 8 red flags for 17 laps, and the race went 3 overtimes and 7 laps longer than planned. Hanlon said that Reddick had the skill to match his poise.
I think this says a lot about Tyler's poise, and it's what I saw all week in his performance, not only in the simulator, but is it like the Oscars where y'all give me the music? It's he just slows everything down. He's running fast, but he's doing it in slow motion, which is just a sign of someone that's in control. It's why I went after him as early as I did. I wanted to get the jump on all the other teams because I knew he was going to be the most coveted free agent in a very, very, very long time. So that's why I got the jump on it. Now it costs me a lot of money to do it, but it pays dividends. You have to have that driver that you feel like can carry you to championships and wins for decades, and I think that we have that guy. And it's not going to stop at road courses, dirt racing, short tracks, speedways. He's got what it takes on every racetrack we go to.
Kyle Busch pushed Reddick through the last 3 restarts and finished second in the Chevrolet for RCR that became available when Reddick moved to 2311. Busch remarked of 2311.
Yeah, I don't know if we could have, even if we were on equal tires. I mean, when we tested here, they were lights out and had us beat on the front side of the runs. We needed longer runs, but even today, for some reason, we just didn't have the really great long run speed. We had good middle run speed, but overall, for as much as effort and everything that we put into coming here and focusing on this place and all the testing and everything that we've been able to do over the offseason, we come out here with a really good finish. So, Tyler's obviously a really good road racer. I mean, he proved it driving this car here last year, and I was able to get in it and run right back to him. So I've been trying to emulate the things that he did in order to make this car fast last year, and just not quite all the way there. But they had a whale of a car, and I want to thank NetSpin for being on our car here this weekend in Austin, hometown partner for us right here in Austin, Texas. And so excited to get them a runner-up finish.
William Byron came in 5th for Hendrick, and Austin Cindric came in 6th for Team Penske as the best Ford driver. For the first time this season, there were no stage breaks. This is because the rules changed for the 6 road course races in 2023. Teams had to come up with different ways to handle pit stops. Kimi Räikkönen and Jenson Button, both of whom have won the Formula One championship, were both in the race. Räikkönen drove the Trackhouse Racing Project 91 car, which is meant to give drivers from other sports a chance to race in NASCAR. He came in 27th. This season, Button drove the number 15 Mobil 1 Ford Mustang for Rick Ware Racing in 3 road courses. He came 18th. The track had another road course ringer. Sunday, Four-time INSA champion sports car driver Jordan Taylor drove for an injured Chase Elliott and came in 24th place. Elliott is still recovering from a snowboarding accident that broke his leg, and he took part in the Fox Sports broadcast booth from Colorado. That's all for today's video. Hope you enjoyed it. Tell us in the comments what you think about the video. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel to see more of our videos on NASCAR updates. Look forward to seeing you in the next video.